Get that water out of the goddamn huddle. I tell you when you get a fucking water break.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is January 15th, 2020.
Been a while. Few days.
Not a whole lot going on.
Ralph is just hibernating.
It's that time of year.
Until September.
Yep, that time of year, man. Fact checks and follow-ups.
Was Carson Palmer with Bruce Arians the entire time BA was in Arizona? And the answer is yes. He started all 16 games in 2013. He started 6 in 2014. He ended the season on injured reserve. He started 16 games in 2015, 15 in 2016, and 7 in 2017. He ended the season on injured reserve that year, too. Follow up. What was our win-loss the last 8 games of the season? We went 5-3.
Man, we should have won that last game. Atlanta.
Pick 6.
Big dummy had to go and throw a pick 6.
Okay, but we let him come back, too. So there's that.
I got the Winston interception video in the works. I've got them all cut up and everything. I'm actually kind of surprised. I was thinking there was going to be more of Winston getting hit, receivers dropping the balls and stuff like that. But no, the vast majority of them are just him making dumb decisions. The vast majority of them.
That's what Terry Bradshaw said in the Pewtercast, that he makes some dumb decisions, but he wouldn't trade it. And Terry said that he threw a lot of interceptions too, and it was kind of the same thing. Like when you are throwing it, like in the middle of the throw, you're like, wow, I really should not have thrown that one.
Well, he throws so many passes in tight windows.
Yeah.
And he's used to throwing up a lot of passes that are just 50-50 balls anyhow. Odds are when you do that, you're going to get a lot of interceptions. But a lot of them were just, what are you thinking? I mean, I think out of 30, I'd say 17, 18 of them were just dumb decisions or bad decisions.
So a little over half.
Yeah.
Follow up. Steve Ballmer was the CEO of Microsoft and is the owner of the LA Clippers.
Oh, okay. So he was both.
Yes.
Yeah. Dave Tapper reminded me of his Steve Ballmer when he came out for the press conference for Rule.
You don't even watch the NBA. How do you know?
I don't know. You just
Steve Ballmer.
You see these clips of Steve Ballmer jumping around, and he's never been married, doesn't have kids, so he's like a big kid, and he's got his house. If I'm correct, this will be another follow-up.
Dang it, don't do this to me, Ralph. Shut your pie hole right now.
Oversees the Seattle Stadium, and it's like a big showroom of his collectibles. He's got Jimi Hendrix's guitar.
Yeah, I remember that. It's the same guy?
Yeah. I think, well...
No,
this
guy, Steve Ballmer, owns the LA Clippers.
Yeah, didn't that guy die? Wait, he's the Microsoft guy?
Yeah. I'm looking this up right now, so I don't have to do a follow-up on this one. You're thinking of Paul Allen, who was co-founder of Microsoft.
Yeah. Well,
and owned the Seattle Seahawks until he died.
Yeah, all those pudgy white guys look the same.
Can't tell them apart.
Those old white guys.
Follow up. Eddie Izzard's stand-up that you were thinking of was Dressed to Kill.
Yeah, one of my favorite stand-ups. It was a good stand-up.
He's a funny guy. Quirky.
He was.
Yeah.
He was in a lot of movies as bit parts, but I don't think his acting career ever got off the ground. And some of the other stand-ups I've seen with him, they just weren't that good. But Dressed to Kill was really good. It's up there in my top 10. I like my stand-up.
Follow up. Kellen Winslow Jr., we asked how long he was sentenced to. This is crazy because we went over this story in depth multiple times. So it just goes to show how easy it is to forget everything. He pled guilty to sexual assault charges, and the deal could result in up to 18 years in prison rather than a life sentence. He's being retried on he was being retried on 8 charges, spanning 16 years and stemming from 5 accusers. He pled guilty to 2 of them, raping an unconscious victim and felony sexual battery. If he had been tried and convicted on all of charges, he could have faced life in prison, but the plea agreement sets his sentence to 12 to 18 years. And he hadn't been sentenced yet. The last update was in November.
Okay.
So he's still sitting there waiting to be sentenced. We got some news this week.
What we got?
Brinson Buckner with the Raiders the Buccaneers' former defensive line coach, and he was defensive line coach at the Raiders, was fired by John Gruden.
Why was he fired? Because he did a good job with the defensive line. They went from like 27th in run stopping to 8th, and about the same with their pass rush, too.
I have no idea. I'm going to guess it had more to do with John Gruden than it did with Brendan Buckner, but
Probably.
I have no information to back that up.
Huh.
We got a big announcement today that Luke Kuechly is retiring.
Luke. I know, that's crazy.
I can't believe that. He's not even 30 yet.
He's still a young buck to me. It
I
seemed like he
know.
just came in the league.
He's 28, and he's just like, I just don't have it anymore. I just don't want to do it.
Remember when he got that concussion, got knocked out, and was on the field crying?
That was so crazy. You could tell it's just uncontrollable.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what did it. He's got PTSD from the one concussion.
Did he give a reason why he retired?
No.
Not yet. He probably will in his retirement speech.
Well, he did like a 3-minute video that the Panthers posted, and he just said that he loves the game, but it's just he can't do it anymore. Kind of like Andrew Luck. It was the same thing. But with Andrew, he had all the injuries.
That's wild. That's really, really, really going to hurt the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complete rebuild, and he was their defensive leader. I guess now they're just going to have to rely on Gerald McCoy. Just kidding. He's not there anymore. He was on a 1-year deal, so remains to be seen whether he'll be back. Yeah, so, I mean, who else do they have on the team that's like a leader who's been there? You figure when you get a new coach, you need a little bit of continuity, even through all the rebuild.
Well, that's how you would like to have it. They got Mario Addison, Vernon Butler, Eric Reed, and then who was it that got hurt? The defensive line guy.
Don Terry Poe?
Yeah, Poe. But yeah, nobody like Kuechly.
Yeah, I mean, that's once in a lifetime player. That's what's crazy to me is he had the potential to be one of the best.
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
To be revered, yeah. I mean, I guess he could still be, but, I mean, he's just cutting his career short.
But he didn't go out on top, that's for sure. Bottom of the division. Contenders.
What a jinx.
Well, that's good for us.
Yeah, and someone pointed out that maybe Levante David will get a little more love with Kuechly out of the division.
That's true, but David's always been in his shadow.
Yeah.
They came in the league at the same year, didn't they? Yes, they were both drafted in 2012. David was drafted the second round. He was the 58th overall pick. Luke Kuechly was drafted in the first round. He was the 9th overall pick. So there you go.
He just had that knack for reading the play. They said he was a film junkie.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the film room all the time and would sniff out plays. Thank God we don't have to deal with that anymore.
Now, hopefully McCaffrey will retire. Maybe Greg Olsen, too.
Greg Olsen, definitely, I think. I definitely think he won't retire.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the new coach and Cam and all that mess. We're looking at a new Carolina Panthers football team.
I know, and it's already starting out pretty fun in the off-season. They got some good drama.
Yeah.
I wonder if Kuechly will go and do an announcing job. Probably not. It's kind of soft-spoken. He probably just wants to go into the woods and fish.
Probably.
But wouldn't you do that too, though? It's like what you always say with players being injured. Like, you get paid, you make millions of dollars, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't want to go out there and do this hard crap and get hurt, and,
Yeah.
you know, I'd rather be at home in my pool or...
Mm-hmm. Sipping my Cavassier.
Yeah, driving my cool car.
Spending time with my kids.
Yeah, no, they don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, you know, there are some people that, you know, if you dropped them on an island, they would spend their whole life cutting down every tree on the island just for something to do. You know, there's people that just like to just do stuff. He might be one of those guys.
Football is stuff.
Yeah, it would be really hard for me to go out there and work that hard, put myself at that much risk on a continual basis. You know, especially once you make, you know, 50 million or 100 million, you know, it's kind of, what's another 10 million, you know?
Yeah, you can live very comfortably off 60 million for the rest of your life.
Yeah, very comfortably. And these guys, none of these guys that retire ever have to worry about money again because they get a job anywhere just being a spokesperson, you know, just because they played in the NFL. That movie, Greatest American Hero, I thought that was a really good depiction, fictional, of course, but it was based on a true story, right? Can't remember. A very good depiction of what happens to these guys after they retire, you know.
When their whole purpose has been football, and then all of a sudden it's not.
Right. And they end up spending basically the rest of their life sitting around talking about football, about their glory days.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever met a former football player or someone who's ever even sniffed the NFL?
Yeah.
You know it immediately because they tell you.
Right.
It's like, hey, you know how you know somebody's vegan? Don't worry. They'll tell you.
Give them 2 minutes. They'll tell you.
I mean, I can't blame them. It's more than I've ever done in my life, so I'm sure I'd be talking it up, too.
Hell, I know people that talk up about meeting people in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. My family, they knew Johnny Unitas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
That's like our claim to fame.
That's right. Everybody in your family.
I knew somebody that knew somebody. I never met him. I think he might have been dead by the time I was born, but...
Everybody in your family has a Johnny Unitas story.
I don't think he was dead when I was born, but I never met him.
Yeah, he died in 2002.
Yeah, I definitely was born then.
Look at that, man. I'm really robbing the cradle there. All right, we got Devin White and Sean Murphy Bunting were named to the NFL All-Rookie team. How about that?
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Especially Sean Murphy Bunting.
Well, you know, the All-Rookie team, and this goes to show, again, just how the media is intertwined and everything. The All-Rookie team is voted on by the Pro Football Writers of America, the PFWA. So it's all
some association you pay dues to. You get to put it in your resume.
Yeah, and they just vote on whoever. I'm sure somebody like Ira Kaufman or somebody's probably a member of the PFWA, and he put in Devin White, Sean Murphy Bunting. Devin White really came on towards the end of the year. You know, after he got hurt, he was out a few games, got hurt. After that, he didn't play too well for 2 or 3 games, but then he clicked, man. He started.
He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
So good for them. I'm glad they got some recognition. And maybe Jason Light should get a little bit of credit, people. Just a smidge. This was his draft. Everyone's going to say it was BA. Whatever.
That's how it works.
Jason Light makes the phone call, right? Oh, and the Atlanta Falcons are getting new uniforms this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we have a picture of them?
No, not yet. We got a teaser trailer, basically.
I think they should have Donald Duck on the side of their helmet. Change their uniform colors to blue and white and yellow. Be out there in big Donald Duck outfits.
I wonder if they're going to change the logo and everything.
They've changed it quite a bit throughout the years, but they've always stuck with, the main theme. It's more black now. It used to be red and white.
Yeah.
I wonder when we're going to get new uniform change. I'll tell you what. I love our word mark. I've said this on this podcast a gazillion times. That word mark to me is just a piece of art. I love it. I wouldn't mind getting it tattooed on my upper back. It's just pretty to me. It looks nice. The helmet's fantastic. I love
the chrome.
Yeah, I love the chrome. I have seen a version where instead of having the flag and skull on the helmet, it's just the skull with the swords. I like that too. I was like, that's pretty cool looking. So I could deal with that. But I do like how they enlarged the flag. They modernized it, more sharper lines, got rid of the comb over with the skull, made him look a little bit more fierce. I really, 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 really like the new logo. And I like the word mark. Uniform design, as far as the pattern goes on the actual clothing.
That's like a C, I would grade it.
Yeah, but the numbers, gotta go. I don't mind the reflective coloring. That don't bother me too bad, but it's just that alarm clock look. And it's just really, really hard to read. This is from a selfish and a practical view.
Always practical.
Yeah. From watching the film, it's really hard to read the numbers. When you were looking at the coach's film, the numbers on the shoulder pads, can't read them at all. And the numbers on the front or in the back, it's really hard to read them, especially if the shirt gets bunched up a little bit or anything. So, yeah, the uniform from the head down, let's change that. The head up, keep that word mark. I love that word mark. I used to hate the Buccaneers word mark we had from the mid-90s till we changed this to this new word mark. I always hated that thing.
It looked like clip art.
Yeah, it looked like clip art. Mm-hmm. So they did a great job with that. They can't get everything right. But it'd be nice to see a little bit of a change. I don't want to go back to orange. I've seen a lot of people saying that. Let's go back to the throwbacks. I don't mind having a throwback uniform every now and then. But as far as permanent, no, don't want that sherbet, man.
I like the sherbet. Well, red's your favorite color. So.
Right. Red and black. So, let's keep them colors. You want to look fierce.
You could just be a Falcons fan.
You hush your mouth.
You already like Julio. He's your favorite player.
He's my favorite player. But you want the uniforms, you want it to look fierce and intimidating, you know? I think the league's getting too far away from intimidating uniforms.
Yeah, they're kind of all going to that college look.
That arena football league look.
Yeah.
Oh, XFL's coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Mark Cook is going to be their in-house PA
Really?
announcing the press box for the media and helping on game day.
Correct. Congratulations to him. Mark Cook is the one of the guys from Pewter Report.
So congratulations for his new role.
Yeah, good job. Hope you get paid lots of money for it.
It's a part-time spring gig, so good exposure anyway. The Buccaneers have released some key dates, so let's run through those real quick. February 24th through March 2nd is the NFL Scouting Combine. So that's the next big thing, the end of next month. We got about 6 weeks to that. March 10th.
God.
I know.
Oh, I hate the offseason.
Oh my gosh. March 10th, we've got the franchise tag deadline. March 18th.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. March 18th, that's the 2020 league year, the beginning of that, and free agency begins. So March 18th, mark that on your calendar. March 29th through April 1st is the annual league meeting. Maybe we'll hear from BA there, I don't know. April 17th is the deadline for restricted free agents to sign offer sheets with their current team. And then April 20th is when clubs with returning head coaches may begin off-season workouts.
That's a week later than new head coaches.
Yeah. And then April 23rd through the 25th is the draft.
Oh, the draft. You know, maybe me and you need to start getting into the draft or something because it would make the offseason. Yeah, we'll do all these mock drafts. I really can't stand those things.
I can't either. Nobody knows. Y'all are guessing.
It'd be different if there was some skin in the game. Like if it was like fantasy football where, you know, you had your mock drafts and you set it and you won depending on how many you got right. If it was a competition, I could get into it maybe. But all this speculation, they're never right. They're never normally after the first 3 picks. It's just chaos after that.
What? I mean, like, look at what happened last year when we took all these defensive backs, like, right in a row, and everyone had a meltdown until about, November? When they started clicking. And then everyone kind of quieted down about those bizarre picks.
Yeah, they were upset we didn't get a pass rusher, and then we end up with the
best in the league.
Best pass rusher in the league. Oh, my goodness. And we do like watching the draft, especially.
We watch the draft because
we watch the first night anyhow.
Yeah, and the second.
Yeah, and if we're picked high, then we're usually not too drunk. But usually, we're picking 12, 15. Where are we at?
14.
Okay, let's look that up. We're gonna minimize these fact checks.
I know.
14th, you were correct.
What?
14th. So yeah, we'll probably be pretty drunk by then.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be at, 11? I'll definitely be asleep. You have to wake me up.
I have no idea. I mean, we don't really need anybody. Of course, we always say offensive line. It never hurts to draft offensive linemen, get those guys in and get them ready. But I don't see any need we have, so it's a crapshoot. And it also all depends on whether we keep Jameis and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I think free agency has more of an impact on the team for us than the draft. Especially this year. Last year, it was the other way around. We didn't have any money for free agency, so it was all about the draft.
Yeah, our whole secondary was about draft. That's one thing I really do like about this team is that we're very homegrown. We don't have a lot of free agents on this team relatively. We've got a lot of starting guys that we've drafted. And Jameis Winston, Mike Evans, Ellie Marpet, Donovan Smith.
Kappa.
DeMar Dotson.
Rojo. Peyton Barber. Did we draft him? Undrafted.
Undrafted free agent. 2016. So, and then, we got Vita Vea, Golston, Godwin, everybody in our secondary. Just about.
Yeah.
Levante David, Devin White. I like that. That's what I like. I like having homegrown teams. I don't like a bunch of mercenaries or free agents. That way the team is more likely to stay together longer and you get to build a bond with these guys, When you've got teams that are constantly flipping out, trading guys and all that, you just don't get the
cohesion. Yeah,
and the fan base doesn't get a chance to really get behind them, these 1-year guys or 2-year guys. It's a mentality I don't like, that win now mentality that, where you get a bunch of free agents to try to win this year.
Well, again, it's fantasy football.
Yeah, it's fantasy football mentality. And plus, I get sick and tired of having to figure out guys' numbers and names every year. And it's so annoying.
That's the real reason.
It is. I'm selfish.
Okay, I want to talk about the offensive line and the run game. We've touched on it, I think, every week since the season ended. But friend of the show, long-suffering Bucs fan on Twitter, tweeted, "Watching the 49ers and Chiefs just makes me sad. Sad that the Bucs have zero creativity in our run game. Why? Can anyone answer?" So I thought that is a perfect Ralph question.
Well, gosh, couldn't you have given me some notice before you asked me?
Yeah, it's more fun when you're just blindsided.
The blocking, 100%.
And it seemed like it really fell off as the season went on. Like, early on, we were phenomenal in the run blocking.
Very good run blocking up front. But then, and we do a lot of, we block with our tight ends. We do a lot of pass protection blocking with our running backs. We use blockers in unusual ways. We bring Chris Godwin in, have him block. We'll have Mike Evans
He's a good
block.
blocker.
Yeah, Chris Godwin, especially for his size, he's a very good blocker. He's tenacious. So we use a lot of guys to block other than just our offensive linemen in the run game, and they're just not that good at it yet. I don't know if it's the way they're being coached or whatever, but like OJ Howard. He just does not seem to be into the blocking aspect of it. He has no problem whatsoever with letting his guy go right by him. It's not like he's not trying, but he's not giving a whole lot of effort. And that's all it takes, especially in the running game. All you need is one guy to screw up. And,
your runner's tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Right. And that happened to us quite a bit. Not as bad as it has been previously, where our guys were seriously getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage. But, they get up to the line of scrimmage or a little beyond, and it's just a wall, bodies, and they just can't go anywhere. That's what I would say is if you watch the Baltimore Ravens, and you really need to watch it on the All-22 to see the full view of it. But you watch the Baltimore Ravens, and I would even throw the 49ers in there. When they block, their offensive line is getting serious push, and they're opening huge holes. We weren't doing that. We're basically just getting on our guy and standing there and hoping that the runner can find a place to squeeze through. And then you've got guys coming in from the edge, from our tight ends weren't blocking correctly, or they were getting beat or whatever. So, yeah, I'd 100% say it was the blocking. I wouldn't say it was a scheme. I wouldn't say it was the running backs. Although our running backs, I will say this, they like contact. Ronald Jones, towards the end of the year, he was getting more shifty and trying to avoid people a little bit.
Yeah.
Peyton Barber doesn't do that at all. Peyton Barber, he
tries to bowl him over.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I saw where he would have an open field. There'd be one guy in front of him, and he would run straight for that guy instead of trying to juke him out or go around.
Maybe he's just not shifty like Rojo. He just doesn't have the feet.
Well, Rojo's was doing it too, but then towards the end of the year, he was doing a lot. Some of those big runs he had towards the end of the year were all him. It wasn't like we were opening up huge holes. You want to see good run blocking? Watch the Baltimore Ravens. Those guys, they just knew how to block. They didn't in the playoffs. I can't believe Tennessee just whooped up on them. Was it Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a beatdown. Epic.
Such a good game. And now I'm rooting for Tennessee. Okay, we'll come back to this.
Okay.
Because I still want to talk about the run game. In the Quarterback Whisperer, B.A. advocates for a balanced approach. He said he really believes in it. Passing, running, he said 50-50. They got to be equal, or nearly equal as they can be. You have to have both to have a successful offense. So I wanted to see if his theory translates to his scheme or his results. Let's put it that way. And so I went and looked at his tenure at Arizona to see how his rush defense ranked compared to his rush offense ranked compared to his pass offense. And unsurprisingly, his run offenses were not great, and his pass offenses were. In 2013, his run offense was ranked 23rd in the league, and the pass offense was 13th. 2014, now, Carson Palmer did end the season on IR in this year, but in 2014, their run offense was 31st, and their pass offense was 14th. 2015 was the exception. This is the exception. Their run offense ranked 8th,
That was David Johnson's big year.
And their pass offense ranked second. So they had a top 10 offense in both regards.
That was the year they went to the NFC Championship, was it? What year was that?
2015.
No, it was the 2015 season. Yeah, that's right.
In 2016, their run offense ranked 18th, pass offense ranked 9th. In 2017, again, Carson Palmer ends this year on IR. The run offense ranked 30th, and the pass offense ranked 15th. So, in all but 1 year, they were in the bottom of the league for running. But every single year, they were in the top half of the league for passing. So I think, theoretically, BA probably believes in having a solid run game, but his scheme gets better results with the pass.
You can tell watching the games that running is really just secondary for us. It's just not a priority.
And if you think about it, it was the same way with Dirk Cutter. So Dirk Cutter brings in Rojo, Peyton Barber, Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen, was that Dirk Cutter? Alex Kappa, Jameis Winston. Well, that was Lovey, but Dirk was there. Mike Evans. And so this team has been built for the past 4 years, long before BA got here. And especially with offensive linemen, as Joe Gilbert said in his press conference last season, that in college, the offensive linemen aren't really blocking the way that they're blocking in the NFL, and it takes a long time to develop them. So in, Kappa and Marpet and Donovan's case, where they've been developed with the Buccaneers, that was Dirk Cutter developing them. So in his scheme, they're pass blocking. Dirk Cutter didn't favor the run either. So this team has been set up for the pass. And it started before BA got here.
Yeah, I can't see us having a top 10 rush offense anytime soon.
Well, now I think that's going to be what's in vogue with Derrick Henry taking the Titans as far as they have. Yeah. And you brought up that most of the teams in the playoffs are running teams.
Yeah, the top 5 best running offenses this year made it to the playoffs.
Whereas the passing offenses did not.
Right. Yeah, none of the top 5 passing offenses. Right?
It's so crazy how fast that flipped.
I think, tackling is a big part of running, and it just seems like, you've heard me say this a million times, but fantasy football has really kind of ruined the mentality of football fans. We want to see the points. We want to see the plays and all that. Running the football is not that exciting, really, especially if it's just, 4 or 5 yard runs. I mean, everybody loves the big, 20 plus runs, but most running teams are, they're going to get 4 or 5 yards a whop. And that's just not exciting unless you're old school football. So most teams have gone to, passing. It's where the points are at. It's where the fantasy football points are at. And defenses are set up for that now. They're not set up to stop the run. And
the rules favor the pass, too. Right. You've got all these rules about hitting the quarterback, protecting the quarterback, and then defenseless receivers, and then the pass interference rules. They all really favor.
And they've made it difficult for the runners themselves. They can't lower their heads. And tackling is a big thing in the NFL. I mean, the past few years, we've been absolutely atrocious. The Buccaneers have been atrocious at tackling. This year, we were good at it. I'd give us a B+. Most teams are just not really good at tackling anymore. And they're not built to stop the run in the sense that, if the team just keeps pounding the ball, these guys get tired, they get wore out, and they get tired of tackling. They don't want to get hurt. So, they'll kind of step out of the way a little bit. That's why I did, the beginning of the year, I said, whatever teams figure out that, running's the way to go now, because everybody's defense is set to stop the pass. They were going to do pretty good, and Tennessee was a testament to that, I think, because that's really all they got is Derrick Henry.
No, I don't think that that's fair to say, because Mariota had Derrick Henry too. Did he not?
This is true.
And then Mariota gets benched because they're sucking, and Ryan Tannehill comes in with the same personnel and gets them to the NFC, the AFC Championship?
Yes. But I think Tannehill just makes better decisions than Mariota does. Mariota just made horrible, horrible decisions. He's a very athletic guy. He was good at, scrambling and all that good stuff. But as far as making decisions down the field, he was just bad at it. Tannehill's very good at it. And he's not a great quarterback. He's kind of almost like a manager, game manager, but he can see down the field and know where to throw it to. And that, to me, is all the difference in the world between those two. But he's not a great quarterback. I don't think he's the reason why Tennessee's where they're at. Derrick Henry's the reason why. It's just that Tannehill doesn't screw up as much as Mariota did.
I don't know. I think that you look at that offense, and that's Ryan Tannehill's offense. I think he's running that show.
Well, he didn't throw that many passes.
No, he had no yards.
Yeah, so he's just not doing a whole lot. He's just not screwing up when he does do it. Mariota was he was hesitant. He would make bad decisions. He'd make bad throws, and he'd make mistakes. Tannehill doesn't seem to make that many mistakes. But if anybody can, if the Chiefs or anybody can stop Derrick Henry and make Tannehill throw the ball and win the game, I don't think they're going to go far. But that's the thing. Nobody's been able to stop Derrick Henry.
No, we couldn't even stop him.
But that's because they were holding us.
Holding. I knew that was coming.
Well, I'm telling you, man. I've seen 2 games where the offensive line held that much. And one was the Tennessee game this year, and the other one was that Washington game. The you like that game? That Washington line was holding us all damn day.
You're so salty. Okay, let's talk about playoffs. We didn't do a podcast after last weekend, so I do want to recap the games. What was the first one we watched? The Vikings? Seahawks? Who played? Oh my gosh, I can't.
It was so long ago.
And it wasn't that fun.
No, they were a snooze fest this week.
Yeah, except for the Tennessee game.
I'd say the Kansas City.
The AFC games were good. No, the Vikings played the 49ers. That's what it was. Okay. Vikings 49ers. Ralph's over here surfing the web. The Vikings 49ers, that one was typical. It's kind of how we expected it to go. And now all of our Super Bowl picks are completely wrong. None of us even got close. That was the last of the Mohicans.
We got close, but at least our teams made it to the playoffs.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. The 49ers just look like a solid team. And Quan Alexander made his debut.
Yeah, since his injury. He didn't play a whole lot, I don't think, but
yeah,
I don't even remember him making any plays. He might have, I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of a snooze fest. Wasn't too exciting.
Just a beatdown. The Vikings really couldn't get anything going.
The Titans-Ravens game, that was interesting to watch, just how
so crazy.
The Titans just whooped up on them.
I know. Well, they did the same thing to New England the week before.
I did not see that coming. I thought for sure Baltimore was going to beat them.
I know.
They had Lamar Jackson just flustered.
I know, and he was throwing tantrums on the sideline.
Yeah.
And
that was not good leadership display, I thought. And it looked like towards the end of the game, he had this attitude, well, I'm just going to win it myself, and he started doing all this running. He had some great runs, though.
He did. But here's the thing. We've seen this before, this gimmick. He is gimmicky. Mm-hmm. Everyone, I guess a lot of people started giving him a hard time after this loss in the playoffs. I think it's warranted.
Right. We said last year that we didn't think they were going to do that much this year because he was gimmicky.
People figure it out. He's still so fast, though. That he's got speed on his side. Yeah. But as soon as he slows down, he's done.
Yeah.
We saw it with RG3, Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick. The list goes on.
Yeah, it's good to have an athletic quarterback that can scramble when needed.
Yeah.
But when you have these quarterbacks that run...
Well, and try to carry the team on their shoulders and do everything.
Yeah, it's just not going to last long. You might have a year or two of good greatness, but then you're going to get hurt. There's no getting around it.
That's usually what triggers it, is the injury.
Mm-hmm.
Like RG3, he took them to the playoffs and then...
Yeah.
Got hurt, and that was it. Where is he? Where is he?
Same thing with Cam Newton,
Yeah. And BA, he was a running quarterback. He held the rushing touchdown record for quarterbacks at Virginia Tech. Michael Vick didn't even break the record. It did get broken in 2016. I forget what the quarterback's name was, and in his book, he says the same thing. You cannot rely on your legs as a quarterback. He will never have a running quarterback. I think Jameis is the closest that he would have.
I'm not a big fan of them. They've never. I can't really think of one having great success. And by that, I'm saying win the Super Bowl. It's the field generals. Those are the ones that win the Super Bowl.
Well, and
I swear to God, we've had this exact same conversation.
Yeah, I think so too. They tend to rely on their athleticism too much and not enough on skill.
Right.
Now, Lamar Jackson, he does have an arm. Don't get me wrong. So I think he could make it relying on his arm alone. But, we'll see. That's not really his style.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever do that.
Well, in the running quarterbacks, they kind of tend to try to be heroes.
Yeah. That's, I like Russell Wilson. He's athletic. He can run, but he doesn't.
He does it sparingly,
yes, and that's how you should do it, I think. And Winston's like that, but he gets to the happy feet a little bit too much for me. But, Russell Wilson's a very good field general, but he's also athletic enough to be able to mess defenses up by running for 20 yards if he needs to.
He's smart about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the Texans and the Chiefs game. This was our only one that we picked differently. And who was the winner? Who won? Who lost?
My throat's sore. I can't talk right now.
Molly picked the winner.
Just barely. They barely won.
By like 20 points.
I couldn't believe that. It was, 21, 24?
I think 24. Yeah. We were like, are the Chiefs not showing up in the first quarter?
Yeah.
The Texans had run up the score that much. And then they only scored, 7 points after that?
It was,
they had one touchdown.
Embarrassing for the Texans, man. It just all of a sudden, it was like bam, 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 bam. Kansas City just started firing on all cylinders.
They just decided to show up. I guess they were rusty in the first quarter.
And it seemed like the Texans just didn't know what hit them. They couldn't stop them. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't get any offense going.
Yeah, and it was the opposite the week before against who they played, the Bills, where they were getting shut out. The Texans were. And then all of a sudden they showed up towards the end of it. So it's like they can only play one half.
Yeah. Then we had the Seahawks-Packers game.
That was so boring, too.
I know. I really thought the Seahawks were going to win that one.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't. It was a close one, though.
Yeah.
Lambeau's such a hard place to play, and it was snowing.
It was so cold up there. The Packers just don't impress me this year.
They never do. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. I never want to see him do anything. So I'm rooting for the 49ers this weekend. Well,
you got to. It's John Lynch, And
they beat us this year. So
right. Always rooting for the guys that beat. It's a sweet, sour thing. You're like, you don't want them to win because they beat you, but you do want them to win because it makes you look a little bit better because you got beat by them.
Right.
If they go to the playoffs and look like a bunch of punks, what's that make you look like,
And the Titans, it's the same way with the Titans.
Yeah.
But, the Titans are the underdogs, so I'm rooting for them.
I'd like to see a Titans-49ers Super Bowl, a good smash-mouth Super Bowl.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so the championship, let's make our picks.
Okay. Since you won last week, you got to go first.
All right. Titans-Chiefs. I'm going with the Titans. I don't think that they have a great shot, but I didn't think they had a great shot against the Patriots or against the Ravens.
I didn't think they did against us.
Let's do it.
Remember our game? I was like, put money down on this game.
We are winning this one. Yeah. Oh, you got so much shit in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, I will never do that again. I was just joking. I wasn't expecting people to put money down on it, but I should never say that. Don't spend your hard-earned money on what I say. Just give it to me.
So who you got?
I got to go with the Titans too, but I know we're both going to pick the 49ers and the Titans. Okay. So,
how do you pick against the Chiefs at home?
Yeah.
They went 12-4 on the season. They whooped up on.
All right, just to make it different, I'll pick the Chiefs.
All right. See, I talked you into it.
Yeah.
Good.
Titans were 9-7 going into the playoffs.
That's ridiculous. Come on.
They only won 2 more games.
How are y'all going to get beat by a 9-7 team in the playoffs?
What was it? Mike Vrabel, their head coach, said he would.
He would cut off his penis for a Super Bowl win.
That's some dedication right there.
All right, so next we got the Packers at 49ers.
You're going to take the 49ers, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Man, I don't want to pick the Packers.
Just pick the 49ers.
Okay.
The Titans-Chiefs will be our tiebreaker.
Right. Okay.
When is that one? Okay. Oh, they're both on Sunday.
Yeah.
Dang it. Okay, so we get a free Saturday at least. Okay.
Free, if that's how you want to call it. I call it boring Saturday.
It is, during the season, I get used to being able to do stuff on Saturday and then football Sunday.
Yeah.
But the last 2 weeks, our house is trashed. haven't been able to clean because that's my Saturday thing, but we've had playoffs every day, so.
All right. Well, keep an eye out on the YouTube channel if you want to check out the analysis I have on Jameis Winston's all 30 interceptions. A breakdown on that.
How far are you on it?
It should be up tomorrow.
Cool.
Tomorrow evening. Friday at the latest.
Just say Friday. Give yourself a cushion. Friday. Look for it Friday.
Well, if you want to, go and subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell or whatever, and then you'll get a notification when the video comes up. It's going to be the first in a series of videos during this off season. Going to show all of his sacks too. That might be the next one I do, to show how many of them were due to the offensive line, how many of them were due to the running backs not blocking. It's going to be, I think people are going to be surprised at how many were due to that, how many were due to the tight ends not blocking, and how many were due to Jameis Winston's happy feet. I think people are going to be surprised by that video. You got anything else?
I don't. I'm done.
Oh, we did watch Mike Evans play Fortnite yesterday. It was what was it, on Twitch? Twitch Rivals. Yeah. But I thought they were going to have like a camera on Mike Evans, but they didn't. The announcers were just talking and saying.
And his little dude did have a Mike Evans skin, like
yeah, he had his jersey on and stuff,
and a
football helmet. So that was cool.
I don't understand Fortnite though.
Me neither. I didn't know what was going on.
Okay, boomer, but I don't know anything about it.
Hey, give me some Call of Duty. That's a different story. Fortnite though.
I understand like Minecraft, kind of.
You don't understand.
Like more than Fortnite and more than Roblox. You can tell we have preteen children. Teen.
Got a teenage son. How about that to make you feel old? All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Till next time.
Go Bucs.